A very good morning to our beloved OOP lecturer, Ms. Lidawati, and my fellow friends. Today, we are from Group 7 would like to present our OOP project, which is Student Check-in System. Our group leader is Wan Fu, and our remaining group mates are Kok Yong, and me, Woon Zi Jian. Firstly, the description of the project. The COVID-19 pandemic in our country has started to be controlled, and every sector has back to the normal, including education sector. Regarding our project team, education, we have created a system to let the students to check in the attendance by declaring their health status. So, we have introduced this system called Check In Yourself.
Hello, Dr. I'm Foundation. So, for the objective of our system is to check in their class attendance easily, declaring their own health status, and to increase their awareness about others' health status.
Good afternoon, I'm Kok Yong from Group 7. Now I'm going to talk about the scope of our system. Okay, so our system works closely with student and check-in, and each student will have their name and dependent if necessary, and then each student can check in themselves by choosing the course they enter after finish answering the health declaration form. And the last one is the student only can be checking in once at the same time.
Purpose of our system. The purpose of this system is to allow the student to check in their attendance themselves. Next, this system also allows the student to declare their health status by filling the health declaration form while checking their attendance. In short, this system will ease the job of the lecturer and help the student easier to track the chain of the virus.
Now, let's take a look at our UML class diagram. Our UML class diagram consists of 11 classes, which were student, check-in, name, lecturer, course, health declaration, program, full-time, part-time, my exception, and group project. As you can see here, the core class of this project is student, and each of the class here have the relationship with it. So, there are a total of 11 classes in our system. So now let's take a look at our flowchart. When the system starts, it will display the menu and ask the user to input choice 1. While the choice 1 is lesser than 1 or bigger than 5, it will display invalid and ask the user to input the choice 1 again. When the user input choice 1 is from range 1 to 5, the system will proceed. Input 1 is add student, input 2 is add course or delete course, input 3 is answer health declaration form, input 4 is check-in, while input 5 is exit. When the user input 5, the system will display thank you and ends.
Alright, so now we're going to talk about the flowchart. In this flowchart, in this page of flowchart, we have two main functions, which is add student and add or delete the course. So the first one, add student, we need to read the first name, last name, phone, email, year, program code, program name, and program type, and the user have to choose whether it's full-time or part-time. And there will be the function, the method to set student information, and the number of student with +1. And then after of this process already complete, it will display menu again and check the choices, check the user input again for the main menu. Okay, so next up is the next add or delete course. So first of all, we need to check whether the user already added student information or not, because in our system the user have to add the student information first before they want to add a course. Okay, so if not, there will be an error message. Okay, alright, so next up we will check the course list. So if the course list is empty, it will display no course added, and then if that's not empty, it will display then all the courses that are already in our system. And the next up, we will start to read the course information like the code, the name, the section, the lecturer's first name, last name, and then we will have a series of the method that set everything into our system, like the course, the lecturer, the course teach by which lecturer, and student register which course, and of course, and the number of course with +1. And so now the user will start to choose whether they want to press Y or D. Y, which means they want to continue to add the course, and D, which means they want to delete the course. So if user choose D, it will print all the courses and select the course that they wish to delete. Okay, and then the last one is the condition to check the user input, whether the user input is correct or not. If that's if the user input is larger than the number of course, it will display an error message. If not, it will go to the the student.delete function to start the deleting process and go to the connector with number 7, which will be explained in the next page. Okay.
Okay, for the first flowchart, after the student delete the course, number of course will decrease by 1. If the number of course equal to 0, the system will print no course added and go back to menu. If not, the system will print all course that added and asking for continue adding or deleting. Then, the system will read the input. If the input equal to capital or smaller letter D, the deleting method will be called out. If not, the system will print no course added if number of course equal to 0, or the adding method will be called out if the input equal to capital or smaller letter Y, or will go back to menu if the input is not equal to letter D or Y. For the next flowchart, answer HDF question module will be called out if the user choose number 3 on the menu. If the user haven't insert student information, the system will display an error message which is sorry, please enter student information first. If the user done for adding student information, the system will print a list of HDF questions. User need to key in Y or N for every question. If the input equal to 1, the risk score will increase. Then, the user also need to enter their body temperature. If the body temperature is outside range of 36.5 to 37.5, the risk score will increase. After that, all the value entered will pass to the set student HDF method and will go back to menu. Next, for the check-in module, user need to make sure they have done for adding the student information, course, and answering HDF question. If not, error message will display based on which condition is not achieved. Also, the user need to make sure their risk score is equal to 0 to continue check-in. If not, the system will print their risk level and a message please renew HDF. So the user need to answer the HDF question.
If user enter 4 to check-in, then the system will print all courses and will read choice 3. If choice 3 is larger than number of course, then the system will print error, please enter correct choice, and we will read choice 3 again. If the choice 3 is smaller than number of course, then it will print scan QR code Y/N and will read QR. If QR is equal to Y, then it will print QR code scan and it will go to function check-in, set check-in true, and student attend to check-in choice 3 minus 1, which will record the change status, change time, date, and which course they check in. Then the system will print all student information to the output file. Then the number of check-in will increase by 1, and it will display the menu again. If the QR is not equal to Y, then it will also display the menu.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the technique that we use in our system. So first of all is encapsulation and data hiding. So obviously, these are the most fundamental concepts in RP, and we use it all day, every day in the coding of Java. Okay, so the next technique that we use in our system is composition. So based on the examples that provided in this slide here, we can see that class name is composite student. Okay, so which means that the student contains a name. Okay, next up is a class health declaration, also composite student, which means that the student is also contains a health declaration. And the last one is this is program. So the class program is also composite to student, which means that the student contains a program as well. So because the composition concept, it has a relationship of contains. Okay.
The technique also used in our system is aggregation. As you can see here, the class check-in is aggregate to the student class. This means that while a student object is created, it is not necessary to create a check-in. In the student class, there will be also check-in act as a private attribute in it. Then, our system also use inheritance. As you can see here, this is a segment of code of the class program, and class program is act as the parent class. This means that the children classes, which are full-time and part-time, can access the method from its parent class program. And this is the segment of code of the class full-time and part-time. We have implemented the inheritance technique by using extends keyword followed by the parent class name in the class declaration. Moreover, the super keyword is used to call the parent class constructor in the child class.
For the technique used, we also use polymorphism. It's the technique to let an object to perform the same action differently. And the class program is the parent class, and class full-time and part-time are the polymorph of it. Both full-time and part-time are categorized under program, but they perform different tasks. Inside class full-time, the task performed is information of full-time, while the task performed is information of part-time in class part-time. Therefore, the function get program function perform differently. An extract method is used inside the program class, which means that its method's signature without implementation. Insertion handling is a technique to handle different situations and allow the program to deal with the problems in a controlled manner. As for the pictures, when the student wants to answer help declaration form without adding student, it will show a message, sorry, please enter student information first. While the student wants to check in attendance without adding a course or answering help declaration form, the system will show a message, sorry, please add course first, and sorry, please answer HDF question first, respectively.
Next, for the file operation, we use the function inside the printString class to write data into a file. Before this, we need to include import java.io.printString in order to use the printString. We have used the student's name as the file name by appending underscore check-in underscore information, number of check-in.txt behind it. After a student check in his or her attendance, an output file will be created. Inside the file, we have the student information and the check-in details. For the last technique used, vector encapsulation, we need to include import java.util.vector in order to use the vector class. We use vector because it can dynamic string or gloss as needed compared to normal array. Moreover, the data in the vector can be inserted or removed from any location.
So now, let's head to the demo session of our system. Okay, so now I would like to present our add student function. Okay, first in the menu here, we type 1. And then we will need to enter the student information. And then we enter first name, last name, phone, email, then we have to enter our year, program code, program name, and program type, which is full-time or part-time. So we choose 1. Okay, and this is the function of the add student.
Okay, now let's move on to the demonstration session. Okay, now I will explain about the add course and delete course feature in our system. So like I mentioned just now, we need to add the student information first before we want to register the course. Add the course. Okay, so if we just directly add a course like that, so it will display an error message and it will tell you to please enter the student information first. Okay, so now I'm going to add the student information first. Press 1. and the first name U, okay, the last name, okay, I just enter everything. Phone, I say 01234, email boo at g, okay, something else, year 2, protocol, let's say SECJ11, okay, broken at OOP, okay, and I just select part-time, okay. All right, so now we can add cross, okay. All right, so here it will display a message, no cross added, because I haven't added any cross yet. Okay, so let's continue. SCCJ double one and OOP, section 3, and lecturer's name something's Ali, last name Abu. Okay, all right. So I'm going to press Y. I want to add another course. Okay, okay. So second course is CR1. Okay, something like that. Network and section 1. Lecturer first name like so Michael. Michael Simon. Okay. All right. So now, it's Michael Simon. Okay. So let's say I want to delete a course. Okay, delete. I try to press the small letter. Okay, delete course. So it will display the courses that I already added just now. So let's say I want to delete the second course. Okay, I just press 2. Okay, so the second course already deleted. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to edit the this feature. Okay, so I just press anything that uh, uh, other than Y or D. So I just press X. Okay, so now I already exit to the main menu. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you.
For answering HDF question, user has to enter student information first. So now I will add student information. Now I will also add course. So now user can answer HDF question. If user answer Y for any question or have the body temperature higher than 37.5, then user will not be allowed to check in and have to answer the HDF question again. So user have no risk for these questions. Then only user can check in. So that's all for this part.
Okay, hi. Now I will show the check-in demonstration. Before check-in, we need to make sure we have done for insert the student information, edit the course, and answer the HDF question. If no, they will display an error message like this, or like this. If we have done all the steps before this, so we can continue to check in. So let's check in. So we choose which call we want to check in. If we enter wrong choice like this, so there will error message. So we choose course number 2. So we can insert Y or N. So we try insert letter Y N. So no chain will be come up. So we chain again, and we'll choose number 2, and we key in Y. Then there will a file execute. So this is the file that execute. So we can see here the information it will display. So we check it again. Choose course number 1. So scan. So another file will come up. So this is the file course number 1. So that's all for me. Thank you.
That's all from us today. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our presentation.